All right. So, what's going on with you? Who are you this month, Gemini? We have that coming up in the sun position. Ooh, the Two of Cups. Gemini, here we go. Every time I do a reading for you, there is the Lover's card or, it's the Two of Cups. You guys are really dealing with relationship matters. And you have been like, wow, you guys have been dealing with this for quite a while, at least the last 6 months. I feel like a lot of you Geminis have been very, very centered around one on one relationships. So, this is in the upright position. Gemini, some of you may be ready for some sort of reconciliation. Maybe some of you are just up for harmonious coming togethers with other people, and it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, and this is ruled by Venus and Cancer. This is under those energies. So Cancer talks about the home, while Venus does talk about could talk about the spouse. So for the most part, this is probably a matter of you guys wanting to get close to somebody personal, somebody who you could probably make a home with. You're probably feeling good about making that step. And for some of you, like I said, this could be talking about some reconciliations between you and somebody. But you're in a harmonious place for that. You're good with that right now. But this could also be, personal relationships in the home. Either way, I feel like Gemini, whoever you are, you've got the right energy for that this month. You are dealing with that harmoniously this month. So let's see what's going on in the home position. What's going on in your personal life? What are you dreaming about? What are you thinking about? What ideas, what's floating around in your head, in your psyche, the things that make you feel safe and secure? Oh, we have got the Six of Wands. That is about success. So, Gemini, I think that you may have been having some issues probably with a personal relationship, but it looks like in the month of February, victory is yours. Things with you and things in your personal life are positive. I feel like you're doing it big. I feel like that there is a sense of admiration, whether that is to you or from you. Yeah, I'm feeling like you're a big deal, at least where personal matters and personal relationships are concerned. I think that it's all good there. Again, I'm seeing for a lot of you, if you have, if you guys have broke up with somebody, I'm feeling a reconciliation for a lot of you Geminis, and that doesn't surprise me because, like I keep saying, there's been this twin flame energy for you guys. I feel like more so than anybody else, and even though I think I may have said in the this just in love reading, Gemini, that it may have been time to just let it go. I may have said that. I don't think a lot of you guys let it go. I think some of you are, or a lot of you are coming back to the relationships that you've been in and out of. But so far, it looks all good. This looks very successful, even if it is temporary. But I feel like right now in your private life or at home, there's an even exchange of give and take between you and somebody else. And this is definitely in a personal relationship. But, these, who you are and what's going on around you personally is definitely, it's successful. It's comfortable. It's all good. And like I said, I do feel like a lot of you Geminis are feeling a sense of more maybe admiration and respect or attention that you may be getting. Uh, in your personal life, in your one-on-one relationships, at home. You may even just be feeling that much better about yourself because this is you, and you are at a place that obviously you're doing something right to where you can manifest this harmonious coming together. Your energy's got to be right. And I think it starts with your success at home, with your success in your personal life, with your success about how you, I think there's success in how you feel about you. I feel like some of you Geminis have really made some changes emotionally and have dealt with some things that have brought you to a place of victory. Let's see, in the Mercury position, and this is going to talk about, how we communicate. This talks about our neighborhood, communities. It talks about all things social media. And like I said, anything communication. This talks about our primary school, grade school, elementary school, I think high school, siblings, cousins, your mental state. We have got the High Priestess reverse or the Priestess. So even though everything is good with you and with what's going on between you and this person, and see again, we've got another two, so this is definitely, I think, Gemini, about you in your one-on-one relationships. But with the High Priestess reversed, I think there are some things that are still left to be desired when it comes to the communication, maybe between you and another person. But I am feeling like that maybe there's some sort of holding back. Somebody's not wanting to spill all of their truth about something. Somebody's not really wanting to get into that right now. Or because a lot of you may be reconciling with somebody, and it is a success, but this may be due to the fact that a lot of things that have gone on that you are kind of pushing back into the recesses of your mind. Just kind of sweeping it under the carpet right now. To say this in a more positive way, I mean, because this is not a bad thing, I just feel like some of you are just now gonna pretend like anything that may have happened between you and somebody that you may have been separate from for a while. I think that you're just willing to let bygones be bygones. And this is where the success of what's going on with you personally in your personal life with this person, that's where that is coming from. I think that's how, that is what is helping that to be the success that it is because now you're just kind of turning a blind eye to all of the crap that may have gone on previously. And that's not a bad thing. The only thing I have to say about that is things happen for us to learn lessons, for us to grow. So sure, forgive, but never forget, so that you can, maneuver correctly and continue to have that personal success that you have. It's cool to turn a blind eye to things. Don't turn a blind mind to it. Keep your lessons so that they can help you, progress. But it's cool to let bygones be bygones. So in the Venus position, and this could talk about our creative expression, it could talk about our money, it talks about our spouse, significant other, girlfriend, boyfriend, the things that we are attracted to, how we give and receive love. We have the King of Swords. So, Gemini, I feel like some of you are dealing with another Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. older male, possibly somebody who's established. I feel like I always see this a lot of times as the corporate guy, the CEO, the guy that has his own business, the really, really smart dude. He can be a little bit judgmental, um, and he can be, kind of cut and dry with how he comes across, but it's all good because he knows who he is. He knows what he's doing. He's got his information on lock. And what I'm feeling like, Gemini, is this is somebody who you have. For those of you who have been dealing with somebody off and on, you kind of been in and out of the relationship. I feel like that this person has really, really learned a lot. And even though you guys may have decided to put some things, in throw them back to the recesses of your mind, turn a blind eye on some things. The knowledge, the experience, the learning has not been missed. I feel like now that this is somebody who has really, really started to understand what it is to make you comfortable, from a mental perspective. I think that, this is somebody who has learned a lot through the back and forth with you. Now, this could be you. Maybe you've learned a lot. Maybe you are the king of swords. But I feel like that this is somebody that you might be dealing with, Gemini, who has gained a lot of wisdom and knowledge from the back and forths, from the goings on between the two of you. In the Mars position, and Mars can talk about, it's the way we move. It's passion, it's aggression, it's hostility. And we have got Mars getting ready to move into the sign of Aries. We are in the last degree of Pisces. So actually Mars is at a testing degree. This is called the anaretic degree. And I always call the 29th degree of a sign or a house like the final exam. This is where all that you have learned in that particular sign or that particular house in your chart, everything that you have learned up to that point, now you're going to be tested on so that you can move into the next sign or the next house. So, but like I said, in the last degree of Pisces and as we move into February, Mars will have moved into Aries, probably like in the next couple of days, actually. So this is, new physical starts. This could be about new sexual energy. Mars is very, very happy in the sign of Aries because it gets to be bold and brazen. Mars rules Aries as well as Scorpio, but we're talking about Aries now. So this is the implementation of brand new ideas. It's brand new movement. Mars is a cardinal sign. So, it's coming out of the gate with original stuff going on, with groundbreaking, movement. It's a lot of passion and fire here. So let's see what we got going on with you, Gemini, this month in Mars position. Okay, we've got the Seven of Wands reversed. So this could be taking us back to, like I said, with, kind of sweeping some things under the rug. And, this could be going on to say that you may be allowing your energies to be suppressed, maybe by the King of Swords, maybe him knowing how to deal with you. But, I can't say that because he's not in a reverse position. I was going to say him knowing how to deal with you based on all the experiences, in your relationships may contribute to him knowing how to manipulate you. But he's in the upright position, so I really don't feel that type of energy coming from him. But for whatever reason, you are possibly suppressing your power. And I wonder why that is, considering that here, okay, what I'm feeling like maybe as Gemini, as the month moves on, though you've got this power and this success here emotionally, in your personal life, I'm feeling like some of you may start to back down off of some issues. You may start to pull in your energies. Maybe you are letting the King of Swords take your power. You know, there's a duality to everything, and I did discuss the fact that, you know, it was cool to let some things, it was cool to have some things be swept under the rug, but then again, this may be saying that you may be sweeping too much under the rug. This may be saying that you may be giving away too much of your power. Even though the King of Swords is, you know, he might be mature and he may come off as intimidating because he's got his shit together, but don't let it intimidate you to the point where you give away your power. And it would be a shame too with Mars moving into the sign of Aries, because there's so many new things, so many ways of being, so much more power that you could have, especially with Mars being in its home sign. So it's not necessarily going to be beneficial to you, I don't think, Gemini, to pull back. Like I said, forgive, but don't forget. And don't allow somebody to use you as a doormat because you want to keep the peace at home, because you want to, remain victorious. And I think that there's going to be a balance that certainly needs to be found in what you sweep under the rug, what you throw back into the recesses of your mind, as opposed to how much of your own power you give away. You got to be sure that there's an even exchange of give and take with your one-on-one relationships. Otherwise, you find yourself being a doormat, and you don't want to do that. So let's move on to the Jupiter position, where we're talking about Jupiter's a good luck planet. Jupiter generally comes to give us more. It comes to bring good luck to a situation. When other planets are picking on you, Jupiter comes along and says, hey, don't do them like that. But Jupiter, can expand things that you don't want to be expanded sometimes. So let's just see what we got going on. Okay. So we've got the Eight of Swords here. And I think what that means is that there is giving your power away, Gemini, is going to lead to you feeling, kind of trapped in some form of thinking. It's kind of strange. Gemini, I don't know why. I mean, because he's in the upright position, it doesn't seem that. And maybe it's not him. Maybe it's your perception. But I am feeling like that this King of Swords, for whatever reason, is intimidating you. But I don't think that he's trying to. I think that this is maybe Gemini, you're not quite feeling okay with the fact that you guys are, or that you are turning a blind eye to things. You may know that you are ignoring some things that you shouldn't ignore. You may know that you are giving away your power. And I feel like it has you feeling kind of trapped mentally. I feel like, Gemini, you may not feel like you can express yourself quite the way you want to with the King of Swords, because you're letting him intimidate you. But I, at this point, really don't think that's what it is. And I just keep coming back to forgive, but don't forget. Manipulation isn't always a bad thing. You know, sometimes you manipulate a situation because you have to. You manipulate, if you button up a shirt, you manipulate the way you stick the button through the hole to make sure it gets through the hole. And that's, you know, that wouldn't be considered to be a bad thing. So if he's intimidating or manipulating this relationship, I don't see it as being I don't see him as coming from a malicious place. I almost feel like he's smart about the way that he's going about, the way he maneuvers in the relationship. But I feel like that you may be feeling somewhat trapped in your expression. You feel limited in the way you can express yourself. You feel limited or trapped in the way that you're thinking, because I feel like you know that you may be giving your power away, you know, because you are trying to create this atmosphere of harmony and peace and balance. But there are going to be some choices that you need to make, Gemini, as to how you move ahead. There's definitely some choices that you're going to need to make, and you're going to have to find the power, your own, um, um, the power that is rightfully yours in order to move in the right direction. With Mars in the sign of Pisces, there has been a duality in the way we move, and maybe up to this point you have been giving your power away. And as Mars moves into Aries, you know, because like I said before, it would be a shame to give any of your power away, considering that Mars is going to be feeling right at home and can perform, you know, as best it can in the sign of Aries. So let's see what's going on in Saturn position. Saturn can talk about our restrictions, our obstacles, blockages, but Saturn also wants to make us responsible people. It wants us to master the things that, you know, that we work at. He's the taskmaster. Let's see what we got here in the Saturn position. Got the Palace of Wands reversed, and the palaces are in the Tarot of Dreams deck. If I hadn't mentioned that before, this is the Tarot of Dreams by Cyril Marchetti. So again, I feel like there's some sort of restriction around the way that you move. Maybe you are holding back with your passions. Maybe you're holding back some sort of aggression. You know, this is it's actually getting a little complicated to me. I gotta be honest, I'm having some difficulties understanding where this is going, because we do start off with this harmonious energy and this success in the personal life. But Gemini, I just feel like it is something that you are holding back. And like I said, I feel like it is because you, yeah, I feel like you're feeling powerless over something. Like you can't move in a way that you want to move. I feel like this King of Swords intimidates you. And I know a lot of you Geminis will get mad and be like, nobody intimidates me. You know, I'm sorry about that. But I do feel like for whatever reason, this King of Swords makes you feel some type of way. A way that makes you feel like you can't be who you are. That you have to reel it in order to keep. And I did mention the word temporary when we talked about this Six of Wands, which could speak to the back and forth in the relationship. Let's see what the outcome card is. We got the Knight of Coins in the upright position. Then the Knights are all or nothing type energies. The Knight of Coins is somebody who really, really focuses on a task or a regimen, a person even. This is somebody who's really focused on the resources. Um, some people can actually feel like the Knight gives too much time and energy to a particular thing, but it's just because they don't see what the Knight sees in this particular task or project. Um, I feel like now the outcome is Gemini, you may be really, really, really focused on the success of this relationship. You may really, really be focused on the maybe even the material happiness of somebody else. Focused on the physical relationship. You can get this done, Gemini. Just think that there is a need to not give your power away. And this is definitely with the person that you've been in a relationship with before. Let me see. I want to pull another card. I really do feel, Gemini, like you're sweeping some stuff under the rug for sake of, harmony and peace with this other person. And what I don't see, it's odd. That's like, I take that back. I was about to say I don't see any cups, but you are the Two of Cups. And maybe it's you, Gemini, coming more from a place of feeling. And this King of Swords is coming from a place of thinking. And it makes you not know how to react. It makes you not know how to move forward. It makes you confused about what your next move should be. Because you are coming from a place of emotion. And they seem to be operating on a very cerebral level. And maybe that has got you just kind of reeling your passions in. Okay. Let's see. The Hermit comes up. You've got to be willing to shine a light on that you have pushed back to the dark. I think at the end of the day, Gemini, this is saying, okay, it's not such a good idea. Even though I said initially that it was okay to go ahead and swoop some things under the rug, let bygones be bygones, I think that the Hermit is saying, again, forgive but don't forget. Don't just be completely blind to something or to things that have once gone on between you and this person. I think it's going to put you, it's going to box you in. You're not going to feel like you can express yourself and move in a way that you would normally move. I feel like you Gemini. Yeah, I just think that you got to continue to look at what you may be talking about not looking at anymore. I think the end result is, and we've got these two major arcana here. And I think that is the bottom line that the Hermit is saying, because we got the two major arcana, and I said that this that this priestess was about you sweeping some things under the rug, and I feel like that the Hermit is saying, nope, don't do it. Don't turn a blind eye to these things. Learn from these things. Don't let somebody else intimidate you um, by giving your power away. Walk your own path, your own individual path. There's a strong desire to have this connection with somebody, but you've got to stay true to who you are and where you are coming from, no matter what. And that's the way I see it, Gemini.